What is up, guys? Ivan here with getivan.com, and in this video we have something very special. This is my Tumblr theme, and it's been something I've worked on for the past year across a few different VAs, and it's finally finished, and it has also finally been approved for the Tumblr theme repository. So if you are in Tumblr looking at various themes, or if you're in the back end, let's see, is the back end here? Yeah. And you click on browse themes here. I haven't even tried this myself. We should be able to do a search for Ivan's. Let's see, maybe I need to refresh the page. Well, no. Let's try searching for themes over here. And under this search, it may not be indexed yet. We'll have to see, but yep, there it is. So if you do a search for Ivan's Tumblr, you will find my Tumblr. And it has the page has a variety of screenshots. You can see I do my own blog using this Tumblr, which you can see here. You can check it out at getivan.com. Excuse me. Mine is primarily set up to be a syndication system for my videos, and but of course, you can do any kind of post you like. But you can check out my site to see the potential of the theme, and mine is set for videos, but you can change the way that the content is organized. You see on the theme here, it comes default with 4 posts across and in post scrolling, which is kind of a poor feature, but I have that there in case someone wants to use that. But in my blog, I have it set to just 2 posts instead of 4 posts across, and the posts are blown up to be much bigger. So the the customization of the feed is pretty great, and the point of my theme is to be really simple. I just have a couple of header menu options. Everything is really centered and clean, and just really easy for anyone visiting to understand what's going on with the content. And it makes the web design process take less than 15 or 30 minutes or something like that. And so you can get a new website up very, very quickly using my theme. And it's really great for any kind of project where you're doing blogging or SEO, or if you're trying to do PBNs or anything like that. So, anyways, on the theme page, you can check out screenshots of my theme in particular. I give some other examples of some sites that I'm just now getting started on. Didn't want to build these out too much because I wanted to make sure that I installed from the Tumblr theme section, so that it would automatically apply updates, and I wouldn't have to keep manually going in and copy pasting my theme code into each individual site. So I gave a few examples of some sites that I'm starting that I don't really mind being public. Here's one called Pink Haircut. It's tuxedos for men. KJV cards, Synth Saint. So you can kind of see the versatility is extensive. I usually like to choose maybe 2 or 3 colors for a theme, and it keeps everything really simple and clean and looking sharp. There's a lot of descriptions on the page in terms of what some of the key features of the theme. You can see some of those over here, and then like I said here in the I have a copyright on my theme, but I do provide permissions for use in commercial projects and services. Just you can't sell that. You can't sell it by itself as a theme in a marketplace. So if you wanted to build a website with this theme and sell it to a client, then obviously that's perfectly fine. But if you wanted to sell the theme by itself and change the label and things like that, I'd appreciate if you wouldn't do that, because you never know what I might like to do with this in the future. But so all you have to do is install it, and then just go into the back end and start making. Where's the let's see. Oh, it's over here. Just go into your back end and start making customizations over here. So I'm going to go through some of these features so that you guys can understand how certain things are affected. And let me go to the front end real quick. So briefly, if you look at these posts, they are all different types of posts from the Tumblr area of when you can create a post, or it shows you text post, photo post, quote, link, chat, audio, video, all this stuff. So I basically just created one of each of these types of posts, except for video. I'm going to post this video as the video post, so you'll have to wait to see that, or just check out getivan.com. You can see this is what the video looks like. I have an interesting feature where you see when you highlight the post, it shows video, and you have to click on it in order to go through to the post where you can play the video, and then there's like a little bit of content there and things like that. There's a feature though where it doesn't click through to the post, and you can actually just have the video played straight from the home page. So I'll try to show you that in a moment here. But you can see here's an audio post, here's a chat post, and that's like a special formatting section, I guess, where people can very quickly do, I guess, funny conversations, like meme-esque sort of chat things in a post form. This is a link-based post. You can see that the link is embedded, especially here, and then it actually takes the H1 of that link and puts it as the H1 title of the post. Here's a quote post, so it pre-formats quotes, and then allows you to put attribution below that. So it's just a faster way of doing a quote. And then here's a photo post or an image post. And so, like I said before, you can, with these media types, instead of having it click through to the post, it can just be sort of previewed on the page. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then here's a regular post, H1 title sample. It looks like the body content didn't come through, but let's see if we click on this. Let me try refreshing this. Oh yeah, so in this case, because of the configuration of the site, this particular site, you see when we click on this, it shows a preview, an iframe, but you can set it, like I was saying before, you can set it so that instead of showing this sort of pop-up feature, it will go to the post directly. So as you can see in this sample, it shows the H1, but not any of the body content. And so if somebody clicks on this, then they can see the body content. And then there's also some features down here, like if someone clicks info, they can see a timestamp and how many notes it has on Tumblr. Those are like likes, I guess, likes and comments and what have you. Here's like a reshare feature, reblog feature for Tumblr. Here's a Facebook and a Twitter share feature. There's a tag section where you can sort of access the tags of that post, which is the categorization system, and the permalink where you can grab the actual residence of the post if you need to do any link building or anything like that, if you're using the preview system. So the point being that on page, there's still a permalink. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, in terms of the post feed, and those tags are relevant because that was a really big part of the development is figuring out how to do tags really in a clean manner, really simply. And then up here, you can actually link to your tags using this system, and it's a really easy way for your users to cycle through certain topics without having necessarily a top-down system. But because the tags actually have, in Tumblr, they actually have, you see tagged, if you look in the slug here, tagged /tag1, they actually have permalinks. So you can have them set here in this system. You can technically permalink anything you want to this section, well, anything, I guess it's a tag, and then you can also permalink to tag pages in your menus also, or in your footer if you wanted to do that. So here's the footer. You can customize this text. I like to put disclaimer here, disclaimers or links. You can put whatever you want here and change all these colors. These are obviously links. And this copyright is customizable also. I just put that there to keep the juice flowing to my brand, but you can change this easily to your brand name and then the hyperlink to whatever you want. So this is a really easy way to make sure that you're getting in your silos links to your homepage, from the footer, using this copyright section. So you can hit your copyright and also make sure that you're fully siloed back to the homepage. So it's really simple theme, right? But there's a lot of really neat features that make it really powerful. So let's take a look at some of the customization features. So there's a really lot to cover. I'm not going to cover all the colors. You can just sort of tinker with that in your own time. They're really set very generically, but if you when you change most of these, you can see them here. The only thing that doesn't render very well are the posts in the previews, because they're rendered with jQuery, I believe, and for some reason it just doesn't work in the preview section very well. But if you click save and then you just refresh your page, you'll be able to see what it looks like. So it's really not that big of a deal. Everything else will render on screen. So if we look at, say, excuse me, accent color, we should be able to change this to pink, you see, and it changes the accent there to pink, and then it changes load more posts to pink. So you can see that it's really easy to make changes in certain capacities. Sorry, I need to find a place for my camera. It changes back. And that takes like pretty much no time to do. You just have to know what you want to do in terms of your color scheme. There's a scroll to top button. This one's set to white at the moment. Is that on page? Let's see. It may not show up until it gets to a lower level of depth. Let's see. There's some text modifications here, but the main ones that you want to modify are down here: text, titles, and menu. And so you can use Google Fonts in this section, and I have it defaulted to Rubik. I really like that font, but you can just go to fonts.google.com or font.google.com. I don't remember the exact expression, and find your own font. Now this is where the post visuals become relevant in this section. Single post page max width. So this is where you can really limit or expand, obviously, the width of a single post when you're looking at it on this page. And they're limited in this viewable because we have 4 across. So if you wanted to change that, you can see post columns number 4 columns. So we could change it to 2 columns or 3 columns. Let's go ahead and change it to 3 columns. And then if we click save, we'll save it and take a look at it in a moment here when we change some other things. Then it'll shift to 3 columns. You can also set a space between posts. So right now they're all kind of smushed together, and you can't really tell because there's a lot of transparency there. But if you had videos, for example, you probably wouldn't want it to be smushed like that. So it's nice to be able to say, hey, I want 6 pixels or maybe 10 pixels of space between posts. And you can do it up to 24, as you can see there. Posts container max width. So this is like the full container. You see the 4 columns actually go all the way across the screen here. And so with this section, you can limit that to being more concise. Let's try 1400. And you see how the gutter on the sides changed. So that way it doesn't look so stretched, Post aspect ratio is 4:3. So you could change this if you had different media types you wanted to feature. 4:3 is the ratio for like videos. It's a rectangle, obviously. Here's 3:4 if you had more vertical aspect ratio, like say for images taken by a camera phone. And then you got a square aspect ratio if you want things to be perfectly even. So that's a nice feature. Let's go to something else here. Post on click. So here's where I was saying the lightbox feature. When you click on a post, it opens it in a lightbox. You can change this to open it into a permalink. So I'll probably leave that. Let's think. Do I want to leave it that way as a default for the demo? Probably so. Let's leave it at the lightbox. Hopefully people will watch this video. CSS, so loading page animation. This has been deprecated, so this is a dead feature, and some of this stuff will be cleaned up that doesn't apply in the future. But right now, it's stable. Everything is good. It used to be that there was a loading page animation for the jQuery, but it caused issues with like utilities that would measure the site speed, because it really loads super fast, blazing fast, and so we took away that loading feature. and the jQuery just loads in the background, and you can't even. It's like a split second, so that's no longer a thing anymore. Categories menu, load posts for selected tag, filter posts with selected tag from. So you can choose how, when you click a tag, how this operates. Filter posts with selected tag from, I guess, that viewable. I don't recall actually. I did this in the beginning, so I don't recall how this one. You have to play with it. Tumblr buttons, show on top, show on bottom, hidden. They should be hit. They're hidden by default, I believe. And you can also go to well, actually, I'm not sure now. I have to check it out. But under the advanced settings down here, if you scroll to the bottom, you can turn off the Tumblr attribution. I'll show you in a second. Use a logo image. So you can turn this logo off, I guess. Yeah, and it defaults to the title. You can hide the top bar menu, so you don't even have to have a menu. You can treat this just like you can. This is sort of a landing page mode. So if you just wanted to have a logo, I mean, you can technically, you know, strip a number of these things down and just have a post feed, I suppose. Um, so you can hide that top bar menu if you want to go into a landing page mode. Show post title. Turn that on or off. Should be turned on by default. Some of these will be activated or deactivated, and so if it's glitchy, just turn it on and off, and you'll be able to handle it. So this post has syndication. This is really not labeled very wisely. This is labeled for my purposes to just, what I was finding is when I syndicated posts at one point, it it wouldn't um, it wouldn't properly handle, it wasn't working properly. And so what this does when you turn this on is it will allow you to sort of see the post on the page in an ideal manner for syndication, rather than, it's kind of hard to explain, like if this is turned off, it will it's really more for let's just test it, and then I'll be able to show you. But post categories, that's I believe that's inside the post notes and comments counters. So if you don't want those notes and comment counters to show up, you can turn that off. That way it doesn't really show the Tumblr side of things. People wouldn't necessarily see that the backend CMS is Tumblr. So that's the purpose of that. EXIF data. I don't recall. This has something to do with images, possibly. Let's see. Back to top. Turn that on. Search button. Want to turn that on. That adds a search bar here, which is nice, so people can search through the blog. Facebook share button. Site keywords. This is meta keyword section. This is actually, I don't recall its site author. I guess it's a meta, some sort of meta thing. Logo link. This is obviously where the logo links to. It's default to the home page. So on a /, if you set a custom domain, it'll go to because you can set a custom domain for free with Tumblr, which is why it's so great. And this will go to the home page even with the custom domain. Tag for post title without hover. I don't recall what that does. Tag for post title without hover. I don't recall what that does, so I have to play with that. Apparently, it was important at one point. Post hover. I've been working on this for a year, so please keep that in mind, guys. It's taken forever. I've gone through a few developers. It's been a pain getting people to do. Just really, I just wanted this to be, essentially perfect in terms of its function. Post hover overlay opacity out of 9. Oh, I see. So the opacity of the post hover overlays. And then finally, we get into the menus, which is really self-explanatory. You set the name of the menu, and then here's the type. Yeah, then here's the name of the menu up here. You set the name of a submenu, then you set the link of that submenu. So it's name link, etc., etc. It's really simple. It should go to 10. Yeah, it goes to 10 each. And you can see that when you over here, up to 10 links. The tags is up to 15 tags. The footer links up to 15 links. So it's not unlimited. It's, but it gives you a pretty good number without looking, totally crazy. So that's all menu links and tag links and footer links. And then here you can set font sizes for various things. And then at the bottom here, you can obviously set the actual font type. Here we have a section for Google Analytics ID, and you can obviously just put that in your custom code, but it's convenient to be able to put things, in these kinds of areas. I'm not sure if the updating of the theme will overwrite anything you put in the custom code. So just keep that in mind. I might need to add a separate custom code section for the header in the future, so that if that does overwrite, we'll have to figure that out in time. So we have a discuss short name. So this is if you use the integration for discuss comment system, then you can add your short name here. I have not messed with this in a while, so not sure about that section. Scroll to top text. You can change the label on the scroll to top feature. Show post notes text. So this is all just how things are labeled. Categories label menu. You can see it says show, and so we can put something here like tags or categories. Categories. Categories menu label 2, filter. Put this like this. Categories menu all posts, and you get the idea. That's pretty much it. And then let's save this, and then under advanced options, you can have posts per page. This one's set to 10, and I kind of like to do 6. Once you get to a limit of posts, then someone will have to click load more posts, and then it just drops down more posts progressively in the feed. And you also want to keep in mind, guys, that if you can check out my site for examples on disclaimers, but I like to put the sitemap and the RSS into the theme, into my themes. And this is up to you if you want to do this, but the address on Tumblr for the sitemap is sitemap with the number 1.xml. It's the same on all the Tumblrs. So I recommend putting that in your footer, and you can use that obviously when you submit to Search Console for your asset. Excuse me. And then there's also /RSS, which is the same on all the Tumblrs. So you can add both of those to the footer of your site, and that way, anytime there's a crawl, then your footer always has on page your sitemap and your RSS, and you're always getting proper indexation, because it doesn't have to come from the homepage. That's what I'm trying to say. Like there's those, you can do those things in your footer so that everything is sure to get crawled. If you turn on promote Tumblr, it will have like a overlay for Tumblr. I'm not sure about truncate RSS feed, so that's up to you. Shortens posts in your something or other. Subscribers need to visit to read them in full. Okay, so that will allow your content to be truncated in syndication systems. Google AMP should be enabled by default. You do want to make sure, and this is really important, make sure to turn off use default mobile theme, because the default mobile theme is a Tumblr setting. You want to turn that off. The theme is designed to be perfectly responsive. So if you look at this on your phone, the menus are narrow enough and simple enough that they stay where they need to be on phone viewables. Everything is centered in the logo is centered. All this will be centered, and it will flow underneath itself to adjust properly. And then the posts will stack on top of each other, so everything is made to be responsive. So you want to turn this off, and this is the advanced section is a separate setting from how themes are configured. So every time you set up a theme on Tumblr, you do have to configure this section. And then we've got open links in new window, which is probably recommended. That's up to you. Anyways, let's save this because I put it to 6 posts. And actually, let's put this to 4 posts. That way you guys can click on load more if they want to see how that feature works. There is a custom CSS section, but I don't think that would apply to when you put code in the header. And obviously you can add pages down here. Just everything else is kind of Tumblr default. If you wanted to add code, let's see, you could edit the HTML here, and then you could just add it here. But like I said, I'm not sure if that will, if the theme updates, it will probably overwrite it, and you might have to add it again. So just something to keep in mind. But here's the meta title, meta description. Avatar sets the favicon, I think. And actually, I think in this section back here, let's see. When you go to edit the theme, let's see, edit appearance. When you change this, so you go edit appearance and change this. This is the favicon. It might be this avatar also. I don't recall. And new post types are activated by default. I prefer the old ones. They have more control, but it's up to you. Open graph. This should default to metadata, but you can set it here if you want your open graph to be customized for when you share images and things from the domain on Twitter or Facebook or social things that support Open Graph. The URL handling, this is going to be defaulted to this in the future, so this will be a default setting. That I read the docs on this. This is going to be changed permanently. And then here's where you set the logo, obviously. So we pretty much covered everything. I know it's a bit of droning on a bit about features, but that covers pretty much everything. Let's take a look at the theme since we made some of those changes. So we went from 1900 pixels across with 4 posts, and we made a couple changes, added the back to top, activated the back to top button and things like that. Let's see. So you see we dropped the gutter on the sides. We have 3 posts. We have a little bit of space in between those posts. Probably put more in this case. And if we click, can we click load more? Yeah, we click load more and it drops in. Since you see our grid was 3 posts across, and then we limited it to 4, then it had 2 spaces, you see. So what I would probably want to do to really showcase the theme is I would probably want to go, let's see. I'd probably want to go 2 columns. Let's try this. Sometimes it can take a second for the changes to apply. So after you click save, just give it 10 seconds or something and it should apply. So just keep that in mind. It's gone through, but it looks like this scroll feature is still turned on. Let's turn this off because I don't like that. Let's see. Scroll bar, show scroll bars for long posts. See, if you want people to just be able to see a post inside the feed, then you can turn this on, but we want to turn this off because that's a crummy feature. They need to just click through and read the post or look at the iframe. So you see, since we dropped it to 2 columns, all of the post previews got bigger. So if you wanted to limit the sizes of those things, you could go into the settings and you could go single post page max width, and I guess you could increase it. So you could check that out. So right now you can see there's 4 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I wanted to load more, then it loads a couple more. And if I click on this post, it still pulls up that light box. But if you wanted to turn the light box off, then you could go do that and activate just so that when you click on it, it shows the permalinks. So that's interesting. Here's I guess this is the EXIF data. That's cool. Because I shared this link from a post on Encyclopedia Britannica, and it looks like it also shared the EXIF data of the image. So that's really cool. If you wanted to turn that off, then you could turn that off. So that is pretty much it, guys. I appreciate you watching. Please, if you get value from this theme, please share it. You can share the theme page. You can share. Well, ideally, you'd probably want to share this page. This would be the best page to get the theme from, to install it from the repository, because then updates will be automated if I make improvements to it. And there's probably going to be, I'll probably have a paste bin of the code, the actual HTML code. You can get the HTML code by coming up into this backend here and then just clicking edit HTML and then just copying this. This HTML that's all the theme is. So if for some reason you wanted to manually insert it, or make some manual changes for your purposes, and then not necessarily, you wouldn't get automated updates from the repository, obviously, but you'd still have the theme and it would still work just fine. It's HTML, so it's not going to change or anything. It's static content. So just a couple of notes there. I will have that also available somewhere. For those who want you can check out a link below this video. I'll probably put a link to a Pastebin file with that. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Please, again, if you get value, please share the theme page, and even better, share a link to my site, because it took me like like I said, it took like a year to get this finished. So a lot of work and grief went into trying to get this theme to this place, and I'm really just sharing it to get adoption, to just get as much of it out there as possible. And in the future, if it really gets more sophisticated, then I might, charge a fee or something like that inside the repository. But for now, it's free. Check it out. And thanks for watching. I will catch you later. Bye-bye.